Hi guys, happy to be back again. In this week's episode, we'll be getting amongst arguably the oldest city in the Netherlands, Nijmegen. So now it's time to make that quick 10-minute trip to the bathroom or whatever quiet place you have on offer, while I take you on a short journey through the most iconic places and the hidden gems this city has to offer. We will also explore the history and speak to some of the locals to check the vibe and hear what they have to say about living here. So without further ado, let's get amongst it! Whether you decide on taking the train, bus, car or plane, the journey to this historical city is well worth the effort. Nijmegen is situated in the middle of three large airports. Eindhoven is geographically the closest of the three. The other two airports, being Schiphol and Düsseldorf in Germany, are roughly around the same distance. From any of these airports, you'll still need to take a 1.5 hour to 2 hour train trip to Nijmegen. My advice would be to organize a rental car prior to arrival and just drive there. This saves you half the time of the train trip. So let's begin our journey in the city centre, and for Nijmegen, like most cities here in the Netherlands, is called the Grote Markt. The market square has several buildings that have been designated as national monuments, including the Botervaart, which was built in 1612 in the Renaissance style and used to serve as a weighing house. The ground floor used to be a meat market, and carts and carriages could enter through the building's large gates. In more modern times, it is used as a cozy cafe restaurant, which is a nice place to enjoy a cup of coffee. The Kerkboog, also known as het Stevenspoortje, is a gatehouse in Nijmegen and was initially part of the Nijmegen Cloth Hall. The gatehouse connects the Grote Markt with St. Stephen's Kerk. Also located here is the statue of Marieken van Nijmegen, which is a miracle play recorded in the Middle Dutch text from the early 16th century. During the Second World War, the south side of the square was badly hit by the bombing of Nijmegen. As you can see, these buildings are now very modern. Nijmegen has a long history that goes back more than 2,000 years, so why wait? Let's get amongst the past! Nijmegen, together with Maastricht, Voorburg and Heerlen, is one of the four cities that claim the title of oldest city in the Netherlands. Nijmegen, originally named Oppidum Batavorum, was located on modern-day Volkov and originated as a Roman administrative and economic centre for the Batavians. The oldest Roman remains are those of a large castrum on the Hunenberg from 15 BC. At the beginning of the 5th century, the Romans disappeared from Nijmegen. It is assumed that the area fell into Frankish hands. Around the year 1030, the Chapel of St. Nicholas was built, one of the few preserved Romanesque buildings. The chapel was based on the Carolingian Palatinate Church in the German city of Aachen. In the year 1230, under the Roman king Henry VII, Nijmegen became an imperial city. This meant that the city had its own city government, situated in the Volkov Castle. Shortly afterwards, in the year 1247, the imperial city of Nijmegen came into the hands of Gelderland. Count Otto II of Geerle in Zutphen received the city as collateral from the impoverished Roman king Willem II, who was also Count of Holland, and since the loan was never repaid, Nijmegen remained part of Gelderland from then on. At the end of the 13th century, the city was fortified with an earthen wall and later updated to a stone wall in the 15th century. Shortly before the year 1400, the Van Limbosch brothers were born in Nijmegen. They are considered to be top artists of their time. Fast forwarding to the German invasion in May 1940, the Waalbrug was blown up by Dutch engineers to slow down the German advance. However, after only fighting 5 days, the Dutch government capitulated. During the German occupation, the bridge was rebuilt and reopened in 1943. On the 22nd of February 1944, by accident, Nijmegen suffered heavy damage during an Allied bombing raid. It is suspected that Nijmegen was mistaken from the air for the German town of Kleve. During the bombing raid, approximately 880 people were killed and almost the entire historic upper town was destroyed or badly damaged. If you're interested in learning more about what happened in Nijmegen in World War II, I recommend that you visit the Infocentrum VO2, which is also free for visitors. So let's move on to some of the more iconic places to visit while you are here. To start your journey off, I recommend visiting St. Stephen's Kerk. The history of the church dates all the way back to the 7th century. Inside you will find the monumental Koning organ, which was built by the Cologne organ builder Ludwig Koning. The church was badly hit in the 1944 bombing. The restoration work took 25 years and was completed in 1969. Also located in the city centre, be sure to take a look at the Marienburgkapel. This late medieval chapel was built in Gothic style in the year 1431. The chapel belonged to the monastery of the Sisters of the Common Life. The sisters were not religious, but unmarried women who, without heavy vows, voluntarily wanted to serve God. In current times, the chapel is being used as the location of Huis van de Nijmeegse Geschiedenis. Take a walk through the historic Volkov Park. There are some spectacular views over the Waal River, Waalbrug and Waalkade. While you are there, be sure to check out St. Nicholas Kapelle. The chapel dates back to the year 1000 and is one of 2 chapels left from the demolished complex, the other being the ruins of St. Martin's Chapel. Lastly, be sure to walk up to the Belvedere, which is a former watchtower that also boasts spectacular views. Not too far from Nijmegen Central Station, be sure to take a walk through Kronenberger Park. If you like animals, there is also a petting zoo located at the foot of Jakobstoren at the top of the park. Also inside the park, you can't miss the stunning Kruittoren, which is a remnant of the old city wall. The tower was built in 1426 and is approximately 30 meters high. The Bastei is a must-see in Nijmegen. The museum displays the historical remnants and artifacts that date back to the Roman times. It also tells the story of the River Waal. At the end, grab a coffee at the museum cafe and take in the beautiful views over the Waal. It doesn't get any more Nijmegen than spending some time on the Waalkade. You can grab a seat on a terrace, go for a walk, or relax on the lawn whilst enjoying the most beautiful views of Nijmegen. The birthplace of Dutch painting is located in Nijmegen. Check out the Malvaal van Limburg house. The workshop of the Malvaal van Limburg family over 600 years ago is located on the same spot as the museum. The Van Limburg brothers were raised and taught the tools they needed there to become the best painters of the late Middle Ages. There are so many things to see and do while you're here visiting Nijmegen. Saying that, I've also made an honourable list for the more popular attractions I have missed. Now let's check out some of the city's hidden gems. For the nature enthusiasts, one of the hidden gems of Nijmegen is walking around the Ooipolder. There is a 12-kilometer walking route beginning at the Bastei. Bring your phone for directions as there's not many signs to follow. You are able to leave the paths and wander in the floodplains, especially if you wish to increase the number of kilometers. Dogs are welcome, provided they are kept on a leash. During your walk, you will pass the Ortjes Hekken, where you can enjoy a meal and a drink. Located just north of Nijmegen city centre lies Vuurland. Here you will find a Gezicht van Nijmegen made by artist Andreas Hetfield. This is a lifelike representation of the Roman battle mask from the 1st century AD, which was dredged from the River Waal over 100 years ago. Also located here is Fort Knotsenburg. The fort played an important role during the 80 Years' War. If it is warm enough, there are also places to go swimming, and lastly, be sure to grab some food and drink at Café de Zon. Now let's get amongst the locals!
Ik woon al sinds 1983 in Nijmegen.
1986, dus dat is inmiddels toch al een hele tijd.
Zo goed als 75 jaar, met een beetje onderbreking.
Ik kom uit Tilburg.
Oorspronkelijk uit Limburg, uit Venlo. Ik zeg altijd Oost-Venlo, maar dat zullen de Venlonaren niet zo leuk vinden. Ja, studie, net zoals heel veel andere mensen. En blijf hangen.
Nou, Nijmegen heeft veel meer allure. Hè. Toen ben ik verhuisd van Tilburg naar Nijmegen en hier ben ik ook aan het studeren. Ja.
In de loop der tijd wel, daar wat meer huizen, daar wat meer hoge flats, wat ik eigenlijk niet zo heel fijn vind op sommige plekken. Maar het is goed, prima. Er is maar 1 stad op de wereld en dat is Nijmegen. En er is maar 1 wijk en dat is Bottendaal hier, waar we nou zitten, bij Maxime.
In de kern niet, en dan heb ik het over de Nijmegenaar. De Nijmegenaar is een fijn, positief, opgeruimd, hartelijk mens. In tegenstelling dat toen ik in 86 in Nijmegen kwam, was de stad eigenlijk in opbouw na de oorlog. Ja, ik vond het een leuke stad, maar de stad is door de jaren heen, als je vanaf 86 doorheen gaat, veel mooier geworden, leuker geworden. Nijmegen is echt een blitse stad aan het worden. Als ik zie wat er aan de overkant van de Waal gebeurt. En dat past gewoon allemaal in het karakter van wat Nijmegen voor mij was altijd al. En dus is. Ja, schitterend.
Ja, er zijn natuurlijk heel veel details veranderd, allerlei nieuwbouwprojecten in de stad. Hier is zo'n oud mooi volgebouwd. Maar in de ziel, hè, als je het echt hebt over de ziel in de stad, waarvoor ik vanuit Tilburg hier naartoe ben komen wonen, dat is hetzelfde. En dat is gewoon tolerantie, veel feesten, gewoon een leuke stad.
Nou ja, ik vind het best leuk om af en toe op het terrasje te zitten, een boekje te lezen.
Ja, zitten bij Maxime, hè? Op het terrasje.
De omgeving van de stad is heel aantrekkelijk, dat zijn de natuurgebieden. En wat ik nog heel leuk vind is, ja, toch gewoon op de hoek van de straat, hè, hier op Maximes, lekker gezellig zitten.
Een van de niet leuke dingen is dat de oudste basisschool van Nijmegen, die dreigt te gaan sluiten. Het is nog niet helemaal zo. Het is het hart van de wijk en het mag niet gebeuren dat dat gaat sluiten. Dus alstublieft, doe er iets aan en zorg dat we wel kunnen blijven bestaan.
Week dat studenten beginnen en allerlei gele en oranje t-shirtjes door de straat te gaan en heel druk. En dan denk ik van, nou ja, dat vind ik niet zo leuk. Is dat allemaal zo erg? Dat het niet, hè?
En niet echt vervelend, maar we blijven gewoon toch een beetje dat dorps hebben. Wat overigens ook heel comfortabel is.
in het Valkhoofdpark lopen, wandelen. Is een mooi park met ook een hele oude kapel nog. En als je dan wel een beetje naar beneden gaat, dan kom je bij het Museum de Bastille. Dus dat is helemaal een prachtige omgeving om te zijn. En je kijkt zo uit over de Waal. Hè? Als je bovenop staat bij die kapel, kijk je zo over de Waal heen. Prachtig.
Ga eens kijken in het Heeseveld, in Hees. Dat is niet zo heel gek ver weg van hier. Maar er is, qua architectuur is dat Heeseveld schitterend. Dat is eenheid, dat is volkshuisvesting, oude stijl. Maar met karakter en met een smoel. Vind ik mooi. Ga gewoon over de oversteek en loop een rondje terug via de Waalbrug. En je krijgt een plaatje. Schitterend.
Get amongst it and subscribe.
So there we have it, my friends. For all you guys that stuck it out until the end of this video, I can't thank you enough. I really hope you enjoyed the content and learned something new along the way. If you're interested in being interviewed in your hometown, please send an email inquiry here. If the stars align and your town is on the list, hopefully that can be organized. Also, don't forget to head to the comments section and let me know what you thought of the video. Maybe I forgot to mention something super important that might be useful for others. For those of you that want to get amongst the donations and help this channel grow, please feel free to head on over to Buy Me a Coffee and get amongst that. All links and extra information about this video will be added to the description. Thanks again and see you guys on the next adventure. Tot ziens!